Hey everyone, welcome back. My name's dustinkreis, and today we are going to do a game discussion, and we're going to talk about this game right here, Dragon Quest Heroes, The World Trees Woe, and The Blight Below. Tongue twister of a title. Um, I don't even know where to begin with this, other than to say this game is phenomenal. This is a wonderful, wonderful game. If you like Dynasty Warriors, get it. If you like Dragon Quest, get it. If you like action RPGs, get it. This is probably one of the funnest games on the PS4 right now. And kind of in a shitty sort of way, it's also the gatekeeper for Dragon Quest XI over here. Apparently, Square Enix is watching the sales of this game, and if it sells well, then they are going to be bringing over Dragon. They're going to start thinking about bringing over Dragon Quest XI or something. I don't know. I think they're going to bring it over anyway, and they're just trying to bump up the sales of this. But I'm here to tell you, this game is amazing. I've played a few Dynasty Warriors games. I played Dynasty Warriors Gundam 3. I played Hyrule Warriors. This blows them all out of the water, and it's not just because. Well, it is kind of because of the Dragon Quest thing. Not so much because of the Dragon Quest skin, but because it incorporates so much stuff from the actual Dragon Quest games that it feels not so much like an action hack and slash game, but it really does feel more like an action RPG. I mean, there's so much stuff you can do in here. Side quests, the storyline is actually really good and really long. It took me about 30 hours to beat the game on its own. Side quests, you can create items in the alchemy pot. There's all this Dragon Quest stuff you can do, and then to top it all off, you get a lot of the greatest characters from the series as your party, and even the characters, the new characters that are in this game specifically. I mean, they integrate so well with the rest of the Dragon Quest canon that I mean, if you're a Dragon Quest fan and this is not on your shelf, you're not really a fan. This is just amazing. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into it and let's talk about it. You start off in the kingdom of Arba. And Arba it's kind of weird when you first start off because humans and monsters live together in peace. And it's not until our villain appears and casts a spell and starts turning monsters against the humans. Therefore, it is up to our wonderful heroes, Aurora, who is the female character, and Lucius, who is the male character. And of course, in true Dragon Quest fashion, you can rename these characters whatever you want. And King Doric and the mechanic Isla, these four characters set off to right this wrong, stop this villain from doing what he's doing, and bring peace back to the land. Very, very traditional Dragon Quest storyline. Something bad happens, we set off on a quest to right the wrong and save the world. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't always need to have Final Fantasies, their crazy ass plots, or Tales kind of does the same thing with their storylines as Dragon Quest does. It's very innocent and very lighthearted, and you don't always need the angst of Final Fantasy. But that being said, the storyline in here is very good. And when you start integrating all these classic old characters from Dragon Quest's past, it's kind of ruined me playing Dragon Quest V in a way, because I'll never be able to pick Nira. I'll just never be able to pick her. After seeing Bianca run around and hearing Bianca talk, there's no way I'm ever going to not be able to pick Bianca in Dragon Quest V. And, Terry's a wonderful smartass in this, just like he was in Dragon Quest VI. Alina and Carol are so funny in this game. They're my favorite characters in this game. I just love hearing them talk in their sort of broken English, pseudo-Russian accents, and how they mess up words, and how whenever Alina is talking about something good, she always says premium, and it's just so funny. And if you've grown up with these characters like I have, the Dragon Quest IV characters, who in this game are um, just drew a blank for a second. Alina, Kirill, uh, Maya, and Sorrow. That was weird. That was just like completely. I guess like Dragon Quest IV, and then Dragon Quest IV just completely went out of my head. Those four characters from that game. Who that game has the most characters in this game. There's like two from five. There's one from six. There are none from seven, and then Yangus and Jessica are from eight. So, the first the first three games, you could have had those characters in there too. But, the weird thing is that there's no seven characters from seven. It makes me wonder if there's going to be some DLC with some other characters. But I just completely lost my train of thought. I grew up with those characters from Dragon Quest IV so much that seeing them there and quote unquote alive is such a treat. And watching Kirill and Alina interact, and Kirill's sort of unrequited love for Alina, and looking at Bianca and Nira, their interactions are kind of funny, but they're too cutesy with each other. Like, in the game Dragon Quest V, your main character chooses between the two to marry, and it would be kind of nice to see like a little rivalry between them, but they get along way too well. And then of course Yangus and Jessica are always fighting. It would be nice to see Angelo in there, but like I said, there'll probably be some DLC stuff with some other characters and their storylines, and it'll continue this long game, because you can get a lot of gameplay out of this game well past the 30 hours it took me to get through the storyline. Like, it took me, I'm close to 50 hours in it now, because I'm doing a bunch of post-game stuff, and then you can go through the game again with your incredibly powered up party and just storm through the game. So there's gonna be a lot to do in this game, and I really do think I'm going to try to platinum it. Gameplay wise, it's so fun. Like, I can understand why people don't like these Dynasty Warriors games, but I just love to put them in and just sort of lose myself in them for like an hour, 2 hours at a time. And when you throw in all this Dragon Quest stuff on top of it, it really just makes it so addicting to play. Like I said, Dynasty Warriors style gameplay, but with so much stuff in it from Dragon Quest, it really does feel like an action RPG. You take on these missions, you go fight these monsters. At the end of it, you get your gold. You can go back to the town or the airship, depending on where you're at in the game. Buy new weapons. You can go out and grind before you take on the next mission. There's all these things to do. There's side quests. There's the alchemy pot where you can create items. You'll get letters from people that will either give you an item or give you a new quest to go do. All this stuff, and it really, none of it feels like padding. Maybe it's just me looking at the game through nostalgic glasses because I love Dragon Quest so much. But for me, this game is just perfect fan service. If you love the series and if you've been with the series as long as I have, because I've played this series since the NES, Dragon Quest 1 or Dragon Warrior 1 on the NES. And I had all four of them when I was a kid, tooling around with the NES. And then, of course, I had to skip out on it with the Super Nintendo. And then once the PlayStation came out, I was able to get Dragon Quest 7, Dragon Warrior 7. But yeah, I mean, this series has been with me since childhood. And just to play it in this style of game that, really celebrates the series, just fantastic. So, I don't know. If you don't like Dynasty Warriors, I guess I could see why you don't want to pick it up. But your love of Dragon Quest should lead you to get this. Even more so over like Hyrule Warriors. Because Hyrule Warriors was good, but the Zelda stuff it incorporated, it never felt like it meshed perfectly. Whereas I feel like the Dragon Quest gameplay and the Dynasty Warriors gameplay just mesh perfectly in this for some reason. Graphically, the game is gorgeous. The cinematics, really impressive. If Dragon Quest XI only looks as good as this game, then Dragon Quest XI is going to look amazing. in the cinematics, just the animations in the faces, and it really impressed me because I'm not used to Dragon Quest being this graphical darling. When the PlayStation 2 era was around and Dragon Quest 8 came out, it was like, oh my god, this is what it should be all the time. And then Dragon Quest 9 came out and it kind of scaled it back for the DS. But I'm used to Dragon Quest, being very, very simple in its sprite work with the NES and the Super NES, and then the DS games made it look pretty good for DS games. But to have something look as good as this and have it be Dragon Quest, it's really, really surprising. And I didn't know any graphical glitches or anything. There is pop in when the monsters respawn, but who the fuck cares about that? But really, really just a gorgeous, gorgeous game. And honestly, I can't think of a better game to sort of maybe start the third golden age of Dragon Quest over here in the West. Hopefully, a lot of people get this and they show Square Enix that these are the games we want. We want Dragon Quest over here and stuff like that. And we start getting like the 3DS ports, and we get Dragon Quest 11 on the PS4 and all this other stuff that we've missed out. It actually really is a good game to get people into the universe, I think, because it's not that traditional old school looking, old school feeling Dragon Quest. It's kind of Dragon Quest for a new era, I guess. It's flashy, it's fun, it's quick, Anyway, the music, all the great tunes. All the great tunes you enjoy from Dragon Quest. When it's very focused on the Dragon Quest 4 characters, you'll hear the music from Dragon Quest 4. And when it's focused on Terry from 6, you'll start hearing music from 6. It bounces around the entire canon's musical selections. Even it's so funny to hear like the old Dragon Quest 1 music like done fully symphonic. I can remember like the old battle theme from Dragon Quest 1 where it's like ba-da-da-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-dum, and then like to hear all these other instruments in there with it as well. It's kind of weird. Sometimes hearing the old Dragon Quest music, because I'm so used to the NES, the way it sounds on the NES, to hear it like in a full symphonic way is a little bit weird and a little bit daunting, but it also pulls at those nostalgic heartstrings, So anyway, Dragon Quest Heroes. What can I say about it? Do I recommend this game? I wholeheartedly recommend this game. For the Dragon Quest fans, for the Dynasty Warriors fans, if you're just wanting an action RPG, or you're just wanting a really, really fun game that will keep you occupied for a while, you really can't beat this one. People talk about games not having longevity and length, and there's so much content in this. Like, you can go out and buy a game. What was it? Oh, that Transformers game, that Transformers Destruction, I think it's called, or Devastation or something. Apparently, it's only 6 hours long. You pay $60 for a 6-hour game. Go out and pay $60 for this, and I'm sitting at the 50-hour mark right now, and I still have a ton of stuff to do. I don't know. There's just a charm to this one that even with the Zelda Hyrule Warriors, I didn't get, and with the Gundam, I didn't get. And it might be because it's Dragon Quest, and I love Dragon Quest so much. But I would be very disingenuous if I didn't sit here and gush about this game, because I've been looking forward to it for so long. I got it, and it's everything I wanted. Except Dragon Quest 11. It's not Dragon Quest 11. Hopefully that's coming, and hopefully Square Enix realizes that we want Dragon Quest over here. But it fits very well within the series. The characters hopefully become, well-remembered parts of the series. And hopefully we see some DLC expansions for the game with some other characters. It's kind of interesting that the unlockable character in here is Sorrow. And I wonder if, eventually they'll give us the ability to play as the Dragon Lord from Dragon Quest One or Hargon or something like that. At the post game stuff, you do get to fight some of the classic enemies. I went to one cave on the map, which you get a big overworld map, and then you have all these different locations that you can choose from, and as you collect more maps, you get more of these little like grottos that you can go to and fight enemies. And in one of them, I did fight Zoma from Dragon Quest 3, so that was cool. He kicked my ass. I gotta get stronger and go back and fight him. But if you're a Dragon Quest fan, there really is nothing better you can do than get this game, because you will just absolutely love this game. Every character is a joy to use, and it's just phenomenal. So I'm really interested to see how the year ends, and if this, because right now this game is Game of the Year, without a doubt. We'll see if it stays there. Anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time.